Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio NHL Play of the Day. I'm Ian Cameron. It's Wednesday, March the 4th. Let's see if we can give you a winning ticket on the NHL ice tonight. We're going to go to the matchup taking place between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Calgary Flames. A big game for these two teams, both of them battling for playoff positioning in their respective conferences. We've got Calgary minus 185 to minus 190 home favorites in this game. The total sitting at 5.5, juiced to the over. In this matchup, and I'm going to focus on the total in this game. And one of the great successes that I have had recently betting NHL hockey is riding the Columbus Blue Jackets over the total. This is a team that for the couple of months straight, from December and January in particular, those 2 months, this was a team that was playing nothing but tight checking, low scoring, defensive minded hockey games. They've sort of transformed to a different type of team and style of team in the absence of Seth Jones, who, if you're any sort of hockey fan, you know how good a defenseman he is, not only for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but how good a defenseman he is in the league overall. And since Seth Jones went down to injury a few weeks ago for the Columbus Blue Jackets, we've seen their defense just look completely different. They've looked much shakier. They've given up more chances. They've given up more shots on goal. And ultimately, they've given up more goals per game without Seth Jones on the ice, and you're seeing it make an impact in this team's defensive play. You look at recent results for the Jackets. They gave up three goals to Vancouver, 5 goals to Minnesota, 5 goals to Minnesota in the first of the 2 back-to-back games against the Wild, 3 goals to Ottawa, 4 goals to Nashville, 4 to Philadelphia, 5 to Philadelphia, 4 to New Jersey. They have not been able to keep the puck out of their own net. And it's also in the process, these injuries to their defense, and there's a couple other guys out, Seth Jones obviously being the big one, just because he's such an important player. He plays 5-on-5, power play minutes, penalty kill minutes. He logs a ton of minutes every night on the ice for the Jackets, and you got to ask all these guys that are inexperienced and not as good to pick up the slack and play more minutes, and they're just not able to do it at as good a level. And that's why you've seen the defensive game fall off for Columbus in recent games. Hence why in their last 10 games, they're 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games, this Columbus Blue Jackets team. What's impressed me about them, though, is that they've also got a lot of key forwards out of the lineup. Oliver Bjorkstrand, Josh Anderson, among others, that are out due to injuries, and yet they've still been able to chip away and get some goal-scoring production up and down their lineup. Riley Nash scores a big goal for them the other night. They've gotten great play from Pierre-Luc Dubois this season. Emil Bemstrom has stepped up offensively. Gus Nyquist, who they got in the offseason, previously of San Jose and Detroit, was where he played before. So they've gotten some other guys to step up offensively for them. But on defense, they're hurting without Seth Jones. Joonas Korpisalo and Matisse Kivlenieks have not been the 2 goalies have not been able to play at as high level with the weaker defense in front of them. So the result is Columbus transforming, quite honestly, from one of the biggest under teams in the NHL for about 1 or 2 months straight to now being one of the bigger over teams in the NHL for the last couple weeks. And you talk about over teams, you could look at Columbus's opponent tonight, the Calgary Flames. They've been an over machine in recent games. How about 8-1-1 to the over in their last 10 games? They only have cashed 1 under ticket in their last 10 games, and it came in their last game against Florida, where they shut out the Panthers 3-0, who just happen to be struggling offensively right now. But other than that, Calgary's been scoring goals. They've been giving up goals. And their defense is also compromised a little bit because of the injury to Travis Hamonic. They did get Mark Giordano back recently, which has helped. But Travis Hamonic is probably the biggest defensive-minded defenseman outside of Giordano that they have on their team. He's a shot-blocking machine. I mean, this guy blocks a ton of shots. He's very responsible defensively. And without him, due to injury, you've seen Calgary give up more goals. But their offense is in great form. Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan, Elias Lindholm, Matthew Tkachuk, Michael Backlund. And the big surprise has been the offensive onslaught lately from Andrew Mangiapane, who's been a depth forward, a 3rd or 4th line guy most of the season for the Calgary Flames. And he's just on a huge goal-scoring binge right now for the Calgary Flames. And he's really given the Flames some added scoring punch, some secondary scoring, which has helped this team's attack as well. I'm very much surprised this total's 5.5, and we have seen 5.5 totals consistently with Columbus. You look at all of these games, they've gone 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games. They haven't had a total of 6 or higher in any of those games. There's been no adjustment made by odds makers. It's like they're not even paying attention to the way the Columbus Blue Jackets are going right now in terms of trending with their totals. And the result is just repeated value and a wash, rinse, repeat type of mindset for me. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Been betting Columbus overs repeatedly for the last couple of weeks, cashing with them repeatedly, and I think we can cash another one here tonight. So for my Pub Sports Radio NHL play of the day for Wednesday, March 4th, let's take Columbus Calgary over 5.5 minus 115. The Jackets and the Flames to go over the modest total of 5.5. That'll be my play of the day in NHL hockey action for Wednesday, March 4th here at Pub Sports Radio. A reminder, pubsportsradio.com. Make sure you check them out every day for great daily content. I'll be back with you next time for another NHL play of the day right here at Pub Sports Radio.